Hi, in this short video we're going to have a look at how to bring the validity scores into your profiles or your reports rather. So what I've done to start is I've opened up one of my reports and I've pressed the plus button at the top, which is what we use to add a new section to the report. So I've clicked on here, it's come down to here and given me a new report page or section. I've added in the title so that I know what it is and saved that, and then I'm all ready to start. Now this comes up as a blank page. As you can see here, I've put a little bit in just to save time so that you can see how this actually looks. We're going to look at doing three different ways of demonstrating the validity scores. The first one I'm going to do is what I call a validity score summary. So I put my text heading in, so I need to go now, I need to get out of general fields and go into the validity fields. You can see those validity fields have come up there. Now if I'm just wanting the summary, all I'm going to go for is summary fields 1 and summary field 2. And this gives me all the information that I need to know about how this profile sits for its reliability and validity for this particular person. So it's telling me up here the size has got a score of 2, similarity has got a score of 4, and the position has got a score of 3. This score goes actually on a scale of 1 to 5, which you can see down here. This is the size, and remembering when we're looking at the P size, we're looking at profile 2. So that's the size of the profile top to bottom, tightish profile through to a nice large profile. The position, we're looking at whether it's well balanced, as much at the top of the profile as there is below the line in the bottom half of the profile is going to give us a nice high score, and the lower scores for a profile that's moving towards an overshift or an undershift is going to be down here at the 1s and 2s. Then the PSIM, of course, is the similarity. How similar is profile 1 to profile 2? So how much of an adaptation or an adjustment is the person having to make? If the shapes of the profile are very similar, and remembering this doesn't include size, it's just the shape, then we're going to get a 5. If the shape is quite different, then we're going to be scoring down here in the 1s and 2s. So that's our general check over for the profiles. The next thing that we can look at is to check it against, does this profile fit into any of the special circumstances, special conditions where we need to tread a little bit more carefully with doing our debrief. And when I look at tight profile and notice it's tight profile 1, it's saying no, that it's not a tight profile. It says it's tightish though, so we know profile 1's a bit small, so we know there's a bit of uncertainty in the workplace. Have we got an overshift in profile 1? That means is everything pushed up, being pushed above the line in profile 1, indicating that there's pressure building underneath and pushing that profile up? Or is it an undershift where the profile is dropping down and tending to be very low on the profile? And if it's complete undershift, the whole thing below the midline, which is indicating that they're really trying to keep a low profile, literally. And then we can have a look to see if profile 2 is actually tightish, because we know if profile 2 is tight or is an overshift or undershift, it will be invalid, but profile 2, you can get a tightish profile come through, and that's one of those ones where you need to tread a little bit more carefully. Then the other one that we have is it a forced reverse shift in the D or a forced reversed shift in the C? Now, this one is at the limits of the tool's capability for interpretation, and with those I'll refer you back to your training to check on what that looks like and the meaning of it. But here we have here, what you will see actually is the D is under the line to start with, but not high over the line, but it finishes a dramatic drop down into the the lower area, the coloured zone at the bottom of the profile. That's the D, and the C is the same scenario, but of course it's the C factor. So that's what our validity scores tell us. That's the summary, which is really all that you need. However, you've got a couple of other choices. We have got some more explanation. As we were just looking at here, this is the information in full. Maybe it's easy to explain to your client when they see this and go, oh, it's a 2, what does that mean? Well, a 2 is sitting towards the left-hand side, which is indicating that the profile is quite small. The largest profile is a 5, the smallest will be a 1. And likewise with the positioning, how over or under shifting is it? And of course the similarity, you'll get the score. Very similar reports, very different shape profiles in the report. Then the other way that you can do it is to actually put out the entire part of it expanded. Now, what I've done here, expanded scores, I've actually put in for this one the size as using this one up here, just with that bar. But what I'm going to do to show you how to bring this in is I'm going to show you that you can just slide these across to wherever you want them. So we've got our piece size, can go in here, then we can have the similarity underneath that, and we can have the position in as well. And so now we've got what I would refer to as an expanded validity scores. We've got all of the information there in all the different ways that we can look at it. So this is that top part that we looked at in that first one in the summary, and then this one here, by dragging in these ones underneath, from here I've just dragged them over, and this is that information sitting on underneath each